Hey all, Matt Scheckman here, aka Shecky the Techie, with another quick tech short or tech bite. In the last one, which was quite a bit longer, we discussed that there are 3 levels of analog audio. There is microphone level, which is the lowest level and the lowest impedance. There is instrument, which is the middle level but the highest impedance. And then there is line, which is the highest level but middle impedance. We went over, line is out from a final device like a synthesizer or something with an amplifier circuit, maybe from your interface to a mixer, etc., etc., mixer to a headphone amplifier, all stuff like that. Instrument is normally your guitar or bass or something that's using passive magnetic pickups. And microphone is normally just that, a microphone of some sort. Could be a condenser, could be a dynamic, but it's a low-level microphone. Magnetic signal, low impedance, low level. Okay, so those are the 3 types. But what if you need to go from one type to another? Well, one of the most common situations, certainly for bassists and nowadays more and more for guitarists as well, is a situation where you may want to record either a bass or guitar directly in through your mixing board or in through your audio interface. In fact, nowadays it's very popular to do the guitar amp emulation and the guitar cabinet emulations in the box using VSTs or virtual instruments. So how are you going to get that high impedance, middle level signal that's coming out of your bass guitar or out of your electric guitar into your audio interface where, unless it has a channel for that specifically, and many now do, but let's say it's an old mixing console, a vintage one, that only has microphone inputs. You need to get it to a mic level signal. The trick for that is called a DI box, or direct injection box. It will take, in most cases, an instrument level signal, reduce the impedance massively from, again, as high as 1 mega ohm to, on the low end, 40, 50,000 ohms, down to 600 ohms. So it's going to massively reduce the impedance to match the impedance that the microphone preamp is expecting and lower the level to the level that the microphone preamp is expecting. In many cases, the better quality active ones will also change that signal from an unbalanced signal coming out of your pickups to a balanced signal that you could now transmit further with less noise and that your microphone preamps are expecting. So that's your DI or direct injection box. And again, traditionally it's going to be an instrument level. However, there are plenty of DIs that will let you take a line level and step it down. In fact, many of them will do both professional line level and consumer line levels. Where do you use that all the time? Let's say you want to put your laptop's audio output for playback of music at a live event into your mixing console. Your mixing console might not have the inputs for that, especially if it's a consumer device and you have RCA outs or a mini jack. You might not have the right thing. Also, you may want to isolate it. If you just feed it directly in, you could have ground loop errors, you could have noise and buzz. Going through a DI is going to clear a bunch of that up for you. So that would be a case where you're taking a line level, either a consumer or professional line level, could be coming in on 1/4 inch, or could be coming in on RCAs, phono jacks, and you're converting those to balanced mic level outputs that you can now take into your mixing console. So again, DI, we're taking instrument or line, converting it to mic. What about the opposite situation? What if I want to take either a microphone and put a microphone maybe through a guitar effects pedal? I have an effects pedal. It works great with my guitar. It gives me this great echoey delay. And I go, man, I want to hear my voice have that delay. Sure, I could use a delay VST if I'm in the box, but maybe I'm not in the box. Maybe it's live performance and I want to use that effect on the pedal. Well, if I just tried hooking a mic up to the guitar pedal, it probably would barely work. I'd have to gain it up so tremendously because my mic level is down so low. Okay? It's also not at the right impedance. It's a super low impedance signal, and likely a pedal meant for a guitar is looking for that high Z or high impedance signal. So what I need to do there is use a microphone preamp. Okay? One common way is I could actually go through my board, use the board's microphone preamp, just how we step the instrument level down to mic to use the preamps, use those preamps and then output a line level signal. Because the board won't send out an instrument level signal, but it will send out a line level signal. So that's one way I could do it. Or I could use a dedicated standalone preamp. Again, the problem is, with the exception of something meant specifically, and there are a few devices marketed to do that. Eventide makes one called the Mixing Link. I'm blanking out on the name of the other company, but they make really nice ones. I'll try to give them credit later. But they make one as well that's specifically for this use. There's a couple that are meant to go from microphone to instrument level. But most mic preamps are going to go from microphone level to a line level output. Okay, that solves one part of the problem, certainly boosts the signal, but actually creates another problem. Now I've got a signal that's too hot. It's too hot, but it's also still too low impedance. I step the impedance up from 600 ohms to probably around 1 kilo ohm to 10 kilo ohms, maybe 20 kilo ohms, maybe as high as 40 depending, but still nowhere near that high Z, which is going to be from 47 to 1 mega ohm impedance. So if I have a line level signal and I want to put it into a pedal, how can I do that? Well, yes, I can attenuate it down, but that's still not going to impedance match it. It means certain pedals might be okay with it, but some might not. I might be losing or thinning out my high end on certain things. Things like fuzzes, overdrives, and distortions might not behave properly on that. And again, that's not typical that you're going to want to use a fuzz or distortion with something other than a guitar, but that's what experimental music's all about. That's what I'm all about with sound design. I regularly put my voice through pedals. I also regularly put my synth outputs through pedals. And those are line level outputs in almost every case. So how do we get a line level to an instrument level? Or vice versa, how do we get an instrument level to a line level if we need it? For an interface, say, that does not have a microphone input, so we can't use a DI, and it doesn't have a high Z input. It only has line level inputs. Something like my Motu 16A, fantastic interface, but it's all line level. It doesn't have any preamps. It's looking for line level inputs. Same thing with my Ferrofish Pulse 16 converters. They're looking for line level. What you use then is a buffer. A buffer is going to serve the dual purpose of buffering, of adjusting the impedance from one level to the other, and adjusting the level from one level to the other. Most traditionally, a buffer will take a line level and drop it to an instrument level while at the same time boosting the impedance so that it works great with all your guitar pedals. But it can also do the flip side. It can take that instrument level, boost the signal up, and lower the impedance into a line level signal. So by using a combination of DI boxes, preamps, and buffers, you're able to go between any of those three different signal types. Now you know, and we'll be back with more info soon.